it's fun, and like I had it, like I own it. It's one of the 3 I own. I think it's watchable. I dig it. Then we have Cars at 18, which yeah. Then we have Brave. This annoys me though. I really like Brave. I don't know. Maybe it's just the bear, the darkness, the family, like the daughter-mother story. You rarely get that. I like the archery. I don't know. Kelly McGillis. Like I liked her. I thought her voice work. Right? I don't know.
Kelly MacDonald.
Oh, Kelly MacDonald. Kelly McGillis is from. Kelly McGillis is from Top Gun and.
Yes.
Louise. Yeah. But and she's in The Winter People with Kurt Russell. You can listen to that episode on Movies, Films, and Flicks when it comes out. I love Kelly MacDonald's voice work in it. I like the bear. I like the little kids becoming bears.
Connolly's great in it.
What the what? Oh, Billy Connolly, yeah.
And Emma Thompson.
Like I could watch that. That's in my like. If someone said, "Mark, what do you just want to put on?" Like I could put on that, or like maybe Wall-E or Incredibles or Coco, one of those. Like I just think it's different. I like the kind of elements to it. It had a different vibe. I don't know. I liked all the information about how they did her hair. I know there's some behind the scenes stories about, the director, she was fired, and then they had to bring in somebody else who had never directed before, and there were some issues, but I still think it's a stunning to look at Pixar movie, and it's in my top 10.
It's lower down for me, but I've seen it many times. My wife loves this film. She loves Brave. I will happily watch it, and I'm never annoyed when she decides to watch it. That's fine. I've said before, I'll never get bored of watching a bear fall down the stairs.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's really funny. And then when you get the 3 little bears as well, just running riot and havoc, it's entertaining.
And that poor lady, the lady that takes care of them.
Yeah.
I just think, I don't know. Give her a high five, because I put this at 7th. So
I think, it's my wife's number 8, so you're very close.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, it's different, it's fun, I dig it. And we'll talk about a couple more before we go on break, but we got 16, Finding Dory, which,
yep.
I mean, it's nice. I love the ending when the car drives off, and then was it ICC, like, a green, like the slow motion at the end when all the fish go flying.
Oh yeah, in the truck. And the otter cuddle party.
And the otters got destroyed by that fish. They knocked them in the water. No, the seals got hit by that big fish.
Oh yeah, the giant fish.
And then at the very end, where she figured out how to go to the drop, and she kind of had some memories of her parents talking to her, just how adorable that all is. Just, like the octopus. I don't know. It's a different story, and it didn't feel like a cynical cash grab to me. It didn't further the Pixar world, but I dug it. Like, it's cute.
I as well, and it says interesting things about people who, differently abled people in the world.
Yeah.
Dory essentially has brain condition.
Yeah.
And showing still value. And this is my wife's second favorite Pixar film. She has this number 2. Finding Nemo is her number 1 because it's all about Dory. It's all about it's my wife's favorite character of all time is Dory.
The hardest I've ever laughed though is when that fish wiped out those seals. I don't know why I found that to be so funny, but I just sat there.
The seals are mean, is why.
Yeah, you're
Idris
right.
Elba and Dominic West is in the Wire reunion. Do you reckon Pixar are trying to get all of the Wire actors onto Pixar films?
I'm saying yes.
That would be amazing. I just get Bubbles in there somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
It's just mean. They're mean to Gerald, the other seal. Like, get off! They're mean seals and sea lions. So yeah, they deserve to be smacked in the face with a giant fish at the end.
They got wiped out though. I just love that about them.
They may not have survived.
And that's just the hardest I've laughed. And little Dory's adorable. And also in Finding Nemo, I did own the DVD. I lost it. I bought it years ago, and I've gone through so many. But they had that cool fish tank that you could just do the fish tank on your TV.
The screensaver.
Yeah. You could just put that on. And then I bought when I got a Blu-ray player, I got a fish tank that you can just play on a loop on your TV. Because I love fish. I love fish tanks, but I'm just too busy to have one. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's my favorite.
When Hank gets hit by the door and he's just flying through the air and gets smacked in the face by a closing door, I love it. It's the funniest thing.
It's just, I don't know. I like it. It's fun, but I think 16's right for it. Would you say?
Yeah, it's one of the Pixar sequels that's lesser than its original, so it by that definition it has to be lower down the list.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, well, gosh, that makes sense. All right,
you have that. You have Incredibles 2. You have Monsters University. They're all less than what came before them.
So we got 15 is Onward and 14 is Incredibles 2. And
They're tied, I think.
oh, let's see. Oh yeah, they are tied. So they're tied. So I guess they're both. I don't know. I don't want to do the spots. I'm gonna give Incredibles 2 14. So,
Okay. You haven't seen Onwards, so.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to get to it, but I'm hearing really nice stuff about it. I hear people are really enjoying Onward.
It is a very good film. You can go back and listen to the Lambcast we just did Onward a couple of weeks ago. Which it is a really good film. I'd say it's about right where it is on the list. I put number 11 on my list. So around about this area. It's not pushing the boundaries of anything. You can kind of see where it's going from the off. But the voice casting's all great, animation's great, it's funny.
Tom Holland and Chris Pratt, I can imagine they're just good. Like I could see them bringing a lot of life to their characters.
They're playing very Tom Holland and Chris Pratt-like characters. The kind of characters that you imagine they would play, they're playing them.
Nice.
So they're not stretching at all. Same with like Octavia Spencer. Julia Louis-Dreyfus is criminally underused. She's like barely in it. She's got she plays their mother, who just like chimes in with a line here and there, but gets nothing funny to do. And it's Elaine from Seinfeld. It's Selena from Veep. She's a great comedian. She should be getting more funny stuff to do, but she gets nothing in it.
She needs some bad dancing.
She needs anything, but she just doesn't get a couple of hero moments, but nothing like comedic or memorable. Her new partner in the film, Mel Rodriguez, plays Officer Bronco. He's a centaur cop.
Nice.
He's incredible. He's such a great supporting character. He gets all the funny lines to do, and then he leaves Julia Louis-Dreyfus nothing.
All right, I might buy it. It's like $20 to buy,
but
so I might just pick that up.
It's worth a watch, definitely.
Cool. And then 14, Incredibles 2. I don't like Incredibles 2. Do you? Like,
This
I
is
almost
too
fell
high.
asleep.
It seems too high. I've seen it a few times. It seems very high.
I would give it a passing grade. Like, I would give it a B. But it's still, I only like the Jack Raccoon fight. That's the only part that the movie felt alive. The rest of it was Mr. Incredible moping around, and then just kind of lies, and then at the end, as opposed, like, the villain is, like, I didn't like the villain twist. I thought that wasn't cool. Like, you have this really cool lady, but then she's the villain. It just didn't, like, the boat, I don't know. I guess I like that Elastigirl was put up front and center, but I still just, I don't know. I like that aspect. I would still give it a positive grade. This doesn't mean I don't like it, but I felt kind of bored by it. And I know that's not a ringing
I like all
endorsement.
of the Jack stuff, like with the Jack when he's being looked after by Edna.
Oh yeah, darling.
Edna is a secret weapon for the Incredibles films. Like they use her sparingly because she's great and she just takes over the whole scene and the whole film whenever she's on screen. So they can't do too much of her. So when they use her, it's really good. And I liked seeing just different powers in the Incredibles world.
Yeah.
When they have in like some of the smaller superheroes and just seeing what they can do. So there's some fun stuff to be had there. But yeah, it does feel a little not alive enough. That's a good way of describing it, I think.
It doesn't feel, it's not you know what? I like that. Like, it's not alive enough, but I still enjoyed it. I just want more Jack fighting a raccoon.
Absolutely. And I think Jack is made for shorts.
Yeah.
Like Pixar does great shorts. They need to do lots of Jack shorts.
Edna and Jack.
Yeah.
All right, and then we'll cover two more movies before we go on break. We've already talked about Toy Story 4. That came in at 13. Any thoughts about that before we move on to Bug's Life?
I think we covered it. Like, Duke Kaboom is the best. I mean, it's not a necessary film, but it's fun. You know, it's like we didn't really touch on Forky. Forky's a great character.
Yeah.
He's a great addition to Pixar. Just this Tony Howard, he's just voicing trash.
What am I?
I'm trash. He's fun.
I like the RC rescue in the beginning. I thought that was kind of inventive. Also, you know what I think also gets me, and I know I joked around about this on the last episode that I was on the Lambcast, but Jim Varney was Slinky Dog, and he's the guy who played Ernest P. Worrell in a lot of movies. And I remember how proud he was to be part of the Pixar world. Like, he was, you know, after years of being Ernest and the direct-to-DVDs and all that kind of stuff, it was good to him. He was able to do a lot of good as Ernest, but when he got into Pixar, he was so happy. You know, he was just... and then he passed away, and now it's like another Slinky Dog. So it makes me depressed whenever I see that movie. Slinky
Dog. It's Blake Clark now, who was friends with Jim Varney, I read somewhere.
Oh.
So there's that at least.
Oh, okay, well...
But I only know Jim Varney from Toy Story, because I haven't seen any of the Ernest films, I'm sorry.
I've been promoting those big.
But yeah, so I've learned about this from you, basically.
Got it. I mean, it's probably a very, it's very, United States, North America, because he was all over the commercials here and stuff, but it was very regional. So I guess people probably didn't hear about it. But and now next, Bug's Life, number 12. Nice little Aesop fable with a good villain who's mean.
Yeah,
Who like kills
in
he
many
kills
ways.
his own henchmen.
Just
He buries them alive, doesn't he, and murders them?
he drops a whole load of seeds on their head.
Yeah, and
I'm
kills
not
them.
sure if they I don't know if they die. Probably. I think if you were to scale humans down to that level, they'd die. So yeah, let's assume they're dead.
It's just a frightening guy. And I
He's
like that
intimidating,
villain. Yeah. I kind of dug that villain. I don't know. I think the animation's good. It's kind of weird that it's fallen. Do you think it hurt because it came after Toy Story? And people are like,
I think it's just because it's one of the older ones. It's like an early one.
Yeah.
Toy Story's got the longevity because it's got all the sequels. A Bug's Life was a one and done when was it? 22 years ago.
Yeah.
At this point, I love it. I watched it all the time. I remember seeing it in the cinema and having the outtakes at the end. That was the first one that Pixar spent time animating these things that are not part of the story, that are just outtakes as it was really filmed, and I loved it. And then on the DVD, there's 2 different versions of the outtakes, so I watched them both. It's just kind of silliness, but I loved the character of Heimlich.
Yeah.
I love the character of Dim. It's all the real caricature, like stereotypical characters, but I like them all anyway.
I think it has the most brutal villainous death, would you say?
Oh, hell yes. Up has a pretty bad one as well. Just an old man falling from the sky.
A very long way.
And I think what happens to Randall in Monsters, Inc. is pretty bad. But yeah, Hopper in A Bug's Life, he has a brutal outing. But it's entirely deserved, I think. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's deserved, but I mean, it's nasty. Like I pitched him, so I wrote a piece for Cracked about like villains in animated films who are too scary, and Hopper wasn't used. But while I was researching that, I came across his death, and I'm like, whoa. Like, I did not remember how brutal that was. That was gnarly.
Yeah, that's bad. Like, you think, he's going to get eaten by the bird. Nope. He's going to get torn to shreds by the 3 adorable baby chicks.
It's insane, right?
They look so cute, and they're just killers.
They just obliterate the guy. All right. So how about this? Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we will cover, 11 through 1. How's that sound?
Perfect.
All right, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Movies, Films, and Flicks. And this is exciting. We have 11 left.
Halfway.
We didn't even plan that, and it happened.
Ah.
We're doing good today. Maybe I'm subconsciously leading myself to these things.
I like how at the start, before we started recording in the green room, we're talking about how we just kind of breeze through the first 12 and then focus on the top 10. And an hour later, we haven't got to the top 10.
Yeah. I mean, we've covered most of Toy Story, right? So that's knocked out.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we spent a lot of. Well, that's fun though. Like so here's the thing.
I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Everyone talks about the top 10. So I kind of. All right, no, Monsters Inc. 11.
Yes.
That movie. So that movie was in I worked in a movie theater, and that movie. Oh wow, I had it at 4, and I think I have it at 4 because I just spent a lot of time. You clean the theaters, you run it through, you watch it, you're bored, you go check out the theaters. So I spent a lot of time with that movie, and I also the ending when Sully sticks his head through the closet and the girl sees him and just is so happy about this, the smile on his face to end.
Yeah.
Monsters Inc. Like, I don't know how this is number 11. Like, what about Monsters Inc. would make this have the 11th highest average?
I can't tell you. It's number 7 for me. Some days it's higher. A lot of people put it higher. Some people got it like 2. There's a 1, there's some 4s, but for most people, it's just kind of in the middle of the pack. I can't really explain that. If you look at like the ending, the climax with all the doors, is one of the best climaxes in all of Pixar. I'd say that's like maybe the best in terms of an action sequence. It's incredible, and the character design or the imagination required to design all of those different monsters
and the fur. Remember all the fur that people talked about?
The fur, that was the first time that Pixar did fur on Sully, and they jumped right in at the deep end with that. Just
full
this
fur,
giant blue mammoth thing.
And
the voice cast, John Goodman and Billy Crystal. Come on,
what a great duo too! Like just Billy Crystal and John Goodman, Steve Buscemi.
This was the first non-Coen Brothers film that John Goodman and Steve Buscemi did together.
Hey, that's fun.
Some pub quiz trivia for you.
Let's see. Oh, Brother, Where Art... Wait, did Steve Buscemi pop up in Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou?
I don't think so.
I can picture them.
I could be wrong.
A bunch of different. I see them in a bunch of like Oh Brother, Fargo.
He's in Miller's Crossing. That's the first one he
Miller's
did.
Crossing.
He was cast in that one because he could say the lines the